Hey everybody, welcome back to another Madtown Hobby video. My name is Keith and we've got a little bit of new product coverage to go with. Legend Story Studios has announced their new, call it 4-player box, a ultimate pit fight in a kit. They partnered with Tolarian Community College, the professor, and they got his input. And you can tell the idea was they saw his enthusiasm for Fab and his expertise with Commander in Magic and how that's a super popular format and easy, you get all your friends together. It's very social, very fun. That's something that Flesh and Blood has been missing this whole time. The casual side, the just grab a fun deck and sit down with your friends and just jam some games. The tabletop aspect of it that we've heard about, or kitchen table. The idea that, from its core, Flesh and Blood has been very, very competitive minded. They wanted from the beginning to be the new thing that people aspire to be professionals, travel, do these tournaments, go on ProQuest, nationals, go become a world champion. James White used to play Magic competitively, and he wanted to create a game that could do that. But that sort of left a lot of people in the dust. And I know from my experience, when you get people to try Flesh and Blood, half of them immediately don't like it. It's very competitive. It's very, in Magic and other games, you can play a competitive match, but you're still able to sort of have fun or piloting a deck, seeing those things. But Flesh and Blood is generally, from its core, is designed to be a hero versus hero, a one versus one. Like, it's very much hand to hand intensity. And a lot of people, that's not their jam, which is fine. They play other games. There's plenty of them out there. But Flesh and Blood is leaving a lot on the table by not having something for those people. And what could that be? Ultimate Pit Fight as a format was completely made up and unofficial, and it became popular in the community as a way to do something with your friends that way, try to imitate Commander. And they've added some rules, created some decks only legal in UPF, but this is their first time that they've made it an official product targeted for that. And so here we've got our web article here. It's called Round the Table, and it's a partnership with Tolarian Community College and LSS. So this will have 4 ready-to-play Blitz decks, and they will also be legal in all other formats where Blitz decks are used. So you can imagine if any of these decks were good enough, you've got Blitz in nationals or some of these other professional things. I don't know if these decks would ever be good enough for that, as we'll see here, but that means the cards in them are legal, so they can be broken down. We don't have the full deck lists to know if they put any reprints, if they put anything real spicy in here. They just gave us a few previews for now. And we'll scroll down here. The first hero is the Professor. So this is a reskin of Teklevossen, who is coming in the Bright Lights set. The ability is slightly different. Teklevossen also plays Evos from Banished, but Professor Teklevossen, Evos cost 1 less to play for each opposing hero. So UPF minded, you got 3 opponents, boom, -3 cost on all those Evos, which, wow, that's going to make some of these cards pretty crazy. So they gave us a little bit of the idea here. If you haven't seen what Bright Lights is bringing, the Evo keyword is essentially building things. Like it's the mech idea, but a little more fine-tuned. You see these items like this. What is this? This is the tecloscope for the head slot. So you've got a base Evo item, and you can play this card out of your deck and upgrade your equipment as it goes. And then with those upgrades, now let's see, their Teclo Blaster attacks can target any opposing hero. So this card specifically is for a game with multiple heroes. That makes sense there. So the whole idea that you're going to be dropping bombs, and they're different based on, check this out, Apocalypse Automation. I get very strong Wall-E vibes, sort of the end of the world robots kind of thing. 3 cost. Play this only if you have 1 or more Evos equipped. Evo upgrade. This attacks up to X target opposing heroes, where X is the number of Evos you have equipped. So if you have 3 Evos equipped, you can target all 3 of your UPF opponents with this 6 attack. That's pretty crazy. All right, our second hero, they brought in Melody, our very first playable bard outside of they have I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but no one wants to play with that other character because he has everyone put their decks together, which is pretty crazy. So you get Melody. Whenever you play a song, create a copper token equal to the number of other heroes in the game. So again, you're playing in UPF with 3 opponents, play a song, generate 3 copper. So there aren't a lot of cards in the game that use copper, but specifically cash in so you can draw. So I assume this deck is going to bring in more cards that use copper. So here is her weapon. Once per turn action, costs 3. Target opposing hero chooses and creates a Might, Quicken, or Vigor token. You create a copper. So one thing about these heroes that you will quickly see is they were designed to require interaction with your opponents for them to really do anything. And Melody and then the Guardian as well in the set require you to do things for your opponents or with your opponents. It's sort of a forced cooperation in some cases, which feels a little weird considering how it's meant to be a competitive setup. But wow, look at these. You got all these songs. So create a Quicken for each other hero. Each other hero gains a life. Create a Vigor under each hero. So it seems the theme of the Bard deck is you benefit everyone and then negotiate and say, hey, leave me alone. I'm gonna always buff you guys. Oh, but by the way, don't pay attention to this giant pile of copper tokens I've created. I don't know. All right. Next one, you've got this new Guardian hero, Bravant. Civic Protector, you may have any number of chivalry in your deck. When you protect another hero, create a Might token. So this one, a Guardian designed to block for other heroes. And you can see the new equipment that Guardian gets here. This is a new shield. Protect is the keyword. You may defend any hero attacked by an opponent. So again, with the negotiation, you've got Melody's over there, and you say, hey, Melody, I'll protect you, and you keep buffing me, and we'll take out these other 2 players. There you go. Now, one thing about what some people are pretty excited about these Guardian legs. Guardian as a class doesn't really have a lot of options for leg equipment. So this new rare equipment, when this defends, create a quicken, but it's a temper 2. So the idea that you will get a lot more block value could be useful. Oh, let me scroll back up here. Each of these heroes has sort of like a new trademark attack as well. I think a few of these, like this, they tease this Apocalypse, this mechanical strength for the Professor, for Melody. This card, Final Act, was really interesting to look at. So it costs one attack, but when this attacks, it gets plus X attack, where X is twice the number of cards in all pitch zones. I had to think about that for a while. So if this is the second or third attack, if somehow the Bard is able to string some attacks together, so they've got 2 cards in her pitch zone, then this would get a +4 to the attack, so a 1 for 5 is interesting. Now, twice the number of cards in all pitch zones. So if Melody must be able to do something to attack other players where they will be pitching for some kind of prevention or pitching for a defense reaction, something like that. So if your opponent does that, that those cards stay in their pitch zone until the end of Melody's turn, so then you would add those as well. So the ceiling on this card, imagine it being a 1 for for +10 or +12. That's probably a dream, but that'd be really interesting. And what is Bravance? Oh, this Guardian. So 3 cost, 7 attack. That's already, and 3 blocks. So that's pretty good for Guardian. Tower. If this has 13 or more attack, non-equipment cards get -1 defense while defending. That's pretty good. Now, if you could add 6 attack somehow, that also be pretty crazy. Is there going to be cards in this deck that can buff a card +6? That would be huge. And if other Guardians could use those. So our 4th hero, Ira, comes back. Now, ever since the beginning of the game, Ira was built to be the deck that was given away. It's a really simple deck, but Ninja's fun. It's easy to play, and it was interactive and exciting. And it was a great starting deck for introducing people to the game. And now you've got Ira coming back, redone in a full Blitz deck, but taking advantage of a new archetype, newer archetype that came recently, which was the Crouching Tigers. So Bittering Thorns was an existing card. Growl here. When this attacks, your next Crouching Tiger gets +1. So the Tiger, Cat, C-A-T, Katsu deck hasn't really taken off in the meta, but some of these cards may end up getting used for that, for Katsu as well. And everybody's super excited about this equipment right here. Mask of 3 Tails. Destroy this, draw a card. So it's basically a mini mask. So for at rare, this is if you play commoner. Commoner lets you use rare equipment and weapons, so that's an automatic include there for rare, for commoner format. And as well as the Pouncing Paws. So, these new cards for these Blitz heroes are probably going to be very useful for other Blitz heroes in these classes. So there's going to be a lot of mix and matching here. All right. That's a lot of information. Essentially, the bundle is the 4 decks plus a playmat. And let's see if that renders. I'll play this video here real quick. So it comes in that box. It's pretty cool looking. And there's our 4 heroes. So we got the Professor, Bravant, Melody, and Ira. There's the box art for their decks. And then that storage box. Oh, they don't show the playmat in here. Anyway, it's a Bright Lights themed playmat, which is pretty cool. It's the quality of the typical Armory playmat. Much better than the paper playmat that came with the Dory versus Reinar box. Okay, so yeah, a lot of information there. I believe the MSRP for that bundle is $70, but most stores are already pre-selling it for map price, which is around $56. So if you think about the typical Blitz decks is $12 individually, so that would be $48 for the 4, and then a play mat for another $8. That's a pretty good deal if you're interested in any of these decks. So splitting it with a friend, buying the bundle would be a pretty good idea. A little bonus here, if you're still with me. They announced this sort of a stealth thing. Social play kits. We have always believed that one of the beautiful things about trading card games is appealing to different people. Alongside with the release of Round the Table, we're going to be putting out dedicated Flesh and Blood social play kits available free of charge to local game stores. Social play kits differ from our existing prize kits, such as the Armory kit, in that they are the same thing every month. They don't change every month. They contain a wide variety of promos, 12 different promos in the Melody kit that can be used over a period of time that fits the store's needs. Over time, a store may get to re-up their social kits if they give everything away. More news to come. So love this idea. Again, pushing and embellishing for giving the LGS something to do besides the hyper-competitive, spiky armories, and let your people goof off and play. They've made it easier. They loosened the rules for armories as well so that you can do casual armories. You don't have to do official CC, if you don't want to. You can do pre-con armories. That's another great idea, and gets those products moving, and if everybody's got a pre-con, then there you go. You're all on an even field mostly. And then you can now, if somebody buys this Round the Table bundle, they could use those pre-cons, or give one to a friend, pass it around, that sort of thing. So all right, excited about this kit. Let me know what you think, if you are interested in purchasing this, or if this is just going to be another dud product. My personal opinion, I think it's a great bundle if you want 4 Blitz decks and a playmat. That the financial element is great, and especially if some of these decks, the decks you don't want, there's going to be some cards that'll be easy to trade and sell to other people. Great value here. I think it's a little overblown that this is the next best, greatest product for the social scene for Flesh and Blood, but maybe I'll be proven wrong in that. It's pretty cool. They got the professor's face on it, put his face on a card even. But we'll see how far that goes. So thanks for hanging out, and yeah, we'll see when this comes out later this month. Thanks.